Pamela Smith is on the line with us. She is the president of Verified Voting, which advocates for transparent election processes and verifiable voting systems. Verifiedvoting.org is the website. Pamela, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So tell us, what is the state of our vote right now, and what should people know as they possibly, as they go into a voting place where they may be encountering a voting machine?
Right. So we still, as a nation, have not moved to 100% verifiable voting systems. We still have a ways to go. We've made some progress, but some voters will be in jurisdictions where when they go to vote, they're facing a voting system that does not give them clear proof of, that the voting system was capturing their vote the way that they intended.
Right.
And those elections officials in those jurisdictions won't be able to do an audit or a legitimate recount to demonstrate that the system counted correctly.
Right. You're talking about the no paper trail touchscreen voting machines like they use in the entire state of Georgia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Maryland and Louisiana and a number of other states.
Right.
But we have seen progress. A state like Maryland, which is still using those machines, is planning to move to paper ballots. They just haven't done it yet. So it's in progress. And there are other states that have moved away from the machines and are moving to paper or have moved to paper. So more and more voters will enjoy being able to mark a physical ballot that, they can check it and make sure that it includes the votes that they wanted it to include. And that ballot then serves as evidence of the voter's intent and can be used in any recount or any post-election audit to check that the systems are counting correctly.
Yeah.
So that's the plus. One thing that's important to think about, I think, in every election, regardless of what kind of voting system you face when you go to the polling place, do it. Go anyway, because even if it's a completely paperless voting machine, it could be working entirely correctly. And the one way to be sure your vote won't count is not to go.
Right.
So we urge people to go, no matter what kind of voting system. If you're curious and you haven't been to your polling place recently, our website includes a map. We call it the Verifier, and it shows what every jurisdiction in the country is using for voting systems. Mm-hmm. And you can click onto your county, and you can click onto the type of voting machine that's listed there, and it will show you how it works. So you can learn more about it even before you go.
That's great. That is great. Verifiedvoting.org is the website.
Right.
Are there any particular areas that people should look out for, and are you getting reports of vote flipping?
Yes, we are, and they're concerning because, well, first of all, it's always concerning because no one wants to try and vote for candidate A and see candidate B's name light up. I mean, you just don't. And It's very disconcerting to a voter that sees that. As often as not, that's going to be a case where the calibration of the touchscreen itself is not working right. So that touchscreen can be recalibrated, and it can be done without, sort of having to open up the machine. But when you go to vote, here's what's important. First, make sure just use one hand. Don't touch the machine with your other hand while you're doing it, because that'll for sure send it off. But be patient. Go slowly, because sometimes a touchscreen, I don't know if you've ever experienced this when you're at an ATM, for example, it doesn't register your touch right away. And then if you touch it again, it's like, register two touches in rapid succession, and you might end up moving beyond where you intended to, and it gets messy real quick. So be patient, go slowly, touch it once and wait and see if it registers your touch. And if you find yourself in a polling place and it looks like, I'm trying as hard as I can to touch in the right place, but somebody else's name lights up, stop right there, tell the poll worker that you want to vote on a machine that is working. And they should be able to cancel out what you're doing and put you on a different machine that hopefully has better calibration. They should take that machine out of service and they should recalibrate it before anyone else has to use it. Mm-hmm. And it's important to do that while you're in process, before you struggle through it and try and hit the cast vote button. Because once you've cast your vote, you don't get to do a do-over.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to get the chance to vote on a machine that does seem to be working. Now, some of the reports we've heard, this vote flipping can happen on the candidate screen where you're making your selection in that particular contest, let's say for Senate, or it can happen when you're getting close to the end of the ballot and you're looking at the summary screen. The summary screen shows the summary of everyone you voted for. So it'll just have the one name that you chose, or the yes or no for the propositions. And on that screen, sometimes we've seen cases where it seemed like it went okay when I was marking the Senate race, but then when I got to the last screen, it said a different name. And that's a different kind of vote flipping. And I think that's potentially more alarming, because if it looked like it was working as you paid.
So that means that the software inside the computer, it is a computer,
goofy.
The voting machine is flipping
Exactly.
your vote without you seeing it.
Yeah, and you may see it on that summary screen, and then you can try and correct it. You get the chance to go back to that contest. But
right. This is when you call a poll worker and say, we've got a problem with this machine.
We have a problem. So that's a little more alarming. We heard some reports in Texas that was happening primarily when voters were trying to do straight party ticket voting, and but we've heard both kinds of vote flipping from other areas too.
Pamela Smith, verifiedvoting.org is the website. Pamela, thank you so much for dropping by and for the great work you're doing.
You bet. Happy to be here. Thanks.
Thank you.